After studying this module, you shall be able to know the meaning of the term channels of distribution, understand the channel motivations and channel conflict, learn the various channel arrangements and identify various channel management decisions. Let us first understand the basics of the concept. The prime of the object of production is its consumption. The movement of product from producer to consumer is an important function of marketing. It is the obligation of producer to make goods available at the right place, at the right time, the right price and in the right quantity. The process of making goods available to the consumer needs effective channel of distribution is required. Therefore, the path taken by the goods in its movement is termed as channel of distribution. Distribution channels are the network of organizations including manufacturer, wholesalers and retailers that distribute goods or services to the consumer. A distribution channel is the network of individuals and organizations involved in getting a product or service from the producer to the customer. Distribution channels are also known as marketing channels or marketing distribution channels. An entrepreneur has a number of alternative channels available to him for distribution of his products. These channels vary in number and types of middlemen involved. Some channels are short as they directly link producers with customers, whereas other channels are long and indirectly link the two through one or several middlemen. In short, the distribution channel can be defined as the path through which goods and services or payment for those goods or services travels from the vendor to the consumers. Distribution channel can be as short as a direct transaction from vendor to consumer or may include several interconnected intermediaries along the way, such as the followings: wholesalers, distributors, agents and retailers. The above mentioned are the channels of distribution. A channel of distribution or trade channel is defined as the path or route along which goods move from producers or manufacturers to ultimate consumers or industrial users. In other words, it is a distribution network through which producer puts his products in the market and passes it to actual users. The channel consists of producers, consumers or end users and various middlemen as discussed above: wholesalers, selling agents, retailers, dealers, etc., who intervene between producers and consumers. The distribution policy specifies what channels are involved in the process of distributing goods. Channel management is a complex concept having various issues attached to it. It focuses on what arrangements are to be focused at, what decisions are to be taken, and how to manage various channels. We would now understand the various flows in distribution channels. A channel of distribution consists of three types of flows. Number one, the downward flow. This relates to flow of goods from producers to consumers. It travels from top to the bottom. Upward flow. it is a flow of cash payments for goods and from consumers to producers. It travels from bottom to the top. 3. Downward and upward simultaneously, which is downward and upward flow. Marketing information flows in both downward and upward direction, and flow of information in the form of feedback on wants, suggestions, complaints, etc. from consumers to producers. We would now know the various channel motivators and channel conflicts. Let us understand these concepts one by one. Channel motivation. Based on the carrot and stick approach of Douglas McGregor, the intermediaries should be motivated by using both positive actions and negative actions, which means rewards or punishments. Therefore, such as rewards being offering higher margins to the intermediary, planning special deals for the intermediaries, giving premium and allowances for advertising or display, ensuring better profit margins to the intermediaries, contemplating longer credit periods to make payments terms easy, and additional incentive for increasing the market share. However, based on the carrot and stick approach, the stick or the punishments could include number 1, threatening to cut back on margins, 2, holding back delivery of product, and lastly, severing of relationships forever. We should now understand the meaning of a channel conflict. A channel conflict is a situation where a producer or supplier bypasses the normal channel of distribution and sells directly to the end user. For example, if a vendor sells over the internet when there is already a physical distribution network, will surely result in a channel conflict. Channel conflict can also occur when there has been overproduction. This results in surplus of products, newer versions of products, changes in trends, insolvency of wholesalers and retailers, and the distribution of damaged goods also affect channel conflict or result in channel conflict. Manufacturers today sell their products through a broad array of channels. Since most manufacturers sell through several channels simultaneously, channels sometimes find themselves competing with each other to reach the same set of customers. When this happens, channel conflict is virtually guaranteed. In turn, such conflict almost invariably finds its way back to the manufacturer. Let us understand the different types of channel conflicts. There are 3 types of channel conflicts which have been briefly discussed as number 1, vertical channel conflict. Vertical conflict occurs when a manufacturer's actions disrupt the supply chain. For example, a manufacturer who normally distributes its products through retail would cause a vertical channel conflict if they start doing direct mail and advertising directly to consumers. 2. Horizontal channel conflict. Horizontal conflict occurs among firms at the same level of channel. For example, if 2 Haldiram franchisees open 2 restaurants across the street from each other, would be in a horizontal conflict with one another. 3. Multi-level or multi-channel conflict. Multi-channel conflict exists when the manufacturer has established 2 or more channels that sell to the same market. Here the example of Levi's can be taken, who agreed to distribute the jeans through Sears and JCPenney in addition to its normal store channel. In this event, the specialty stores complained and they were justified. We will now understand the different causes of channel conflicts. Channel conflicts come in many forms. Some are mild, some are actually positive for the manufacturer, forcing out of date uneconomic players to adapt or decline. Other conflicts, such high risk conflicts, generally occur when one channel targets customer segments already served by an existing channel. This leads to such a deterioration of channel economies that the threatened channel either retaliates against the manufacturer or simply stops selling its products. The result is disastrous, in which the manufacturer suffers. Conflict is an inherent behavioral dimension in all social systems, including the marketing channel. In any social system, when a conflict occurs, an atmosphere of frustration prevails. When this frustration is not resolved, a stage of conflict may continue. In distribution channel, the same is also applicable. Here, the conflicts may be salesman versus distributor, distributor versus wholesaler, wholesaler versus retailer, and so on. Sometimes, in big organizations, the conflict may arise between manufacturers versus vendors, sales department versus production department, etc. We should now also understand what possibly could be the reasons for channel conflicts. Some of these reasons are: number one, perceptual barriers. Perceptions refer to the way an individual selects and interprets or looks at the environmental stimuli. In a marketing channel context, the various channel members may perceive the same stimuli but attach different interpretations to them. 2. Expectation variation. Various channel members have expectations about the behavior of other channel members which were not met, results in a conflict. For example, if the salesman, upon instructions of the distributor, tries to tighten the credit suddenly, the retailer might refuse to oblige, resulting in possible conflict. 3. Role incongruities. When any member of the channel has a series to role to which he or she is expected to fulfill. For example, franchisors are expected to provide extensive management assistance and promotional support for his franchisee. In return, the franchisees are expected to operate in strict accordance within the franchisor's standards operating procedure. If either of the franchisee or the franchisor deviates from his role, conflict situation may result. 4. Scarcity of resources. This refers to conflict stemming between channel members over the allocation of some valuable resources needed to achieve their respective goals. If allocation of resources is improper, then the conflict situation will arise. 5. Goal incompatibilities. Each member of the marketing channel has his own set of goals and objectives that are very often incompatible with those of the other channel members. When goals of 2 or more members are incompatible, conflicts obviously may occur. 6. Decision domain dispute. Each channel member enjoys an area of decision making which he or she feels is exclusively his/her own. In contractual channel system such as franchisee, the decision domain is quite explicit, but in more traditional channels, the decision domains are sometimes just abused. Hence, conflicts can arise over which member has the right to make the decision. 7. Miscommunication. Communication is the vehicle for all interactions among these channel members. A breakdown in the process of communication can turn a cooperative relationship into a conflicting one. For example, manufacturer often makes changes in product design, prices, promotional strategies. The resellers generally feel that they are entitled to sufficient advance notice of such changes so that they can make appropriate strategic adjustments if necessary. If adequate communication is not provided and these failing results in negative consequences for a channel member, severe conflicts can arise. After learning the various causes of conflicts, let us also now understand the various methods by which these conflicts can be resolved or at least minimized. To avoid a channel conflict in a click and mortar business, it is necessary to ensure that both traditional and online channels are fully integrated. This reduces possible confusion with customers while providing the business benefits of a dual channel. 4 different conflict resolution strategies are identified based on typology of Mard and Simon, which are being briefly discussed. Number 1, problem solving. Problem solving is preferred as a conflict resolution strategy when channel members share common goals and want a solution that satisfies the decision criteria of both parties. The common goals are readily apparent to both parties. 2. Persuasion. Persuasion is the preferred conflict resolution strategy when one channel member attempts to alter the decision criteria of the other channel member so as to move the other member to a common set of goals. It is similar to problem solving with the important difference that the common goals are not readily apparent to the two members. The aim is to reduce differences between the sub-goals of the two organizations by emphasizing the superordinate goals of marketing channel. 3. Bargaining. Bargaining is likely to be preferred conflict resolution strategy when common goals are not expected and the two channel members have a zero-sum orientation. One member is expected to win at the expense of the other channel member, who in turn has to lose. 4. Politics. Politics is preferred conflict resolution strategy when there is fixed disagreement over goals and a zero-sum orientation, just as discussed in bargaining, but also includes third-party intervention. The two parties are unable to resolve conflict by themselves and seek the assistance of a third party to bridge their differences. The choice of conflict resolution strategies is expected to depend on relational norms. The conflict resolution strategy will in turn influence the relationship between the channel members. Let us learn the concept of channel management decisions. Once a decision on channel is made, it is significant to manage the channel. Channel management decisions can be of various types. Number 1. Selecting channel members. Companies should diagnose what characteristics a good channel member must have and evaluate. Some of those characteristics could be kept in mind are years in business, other lines carried, growth and profit record, cooperativeness and reputation. 2. Motivating channel members. The company must not only sell through the intermediate but to the intermediaries. Most of the companies see their intermediaries as their customers. Motivators like high margins, premiums, allowances can be used. Also, negative motivators such as alarming to reduce margins, slow down, delivery or end relationship can be used. More advanced companies try to foster long-term partnerships, that is, meeting the needs of both manufacturer and distributions. It is in fact a win-win situation. 3. Evaluating channel members. Regular checks of members' performance must be done. Let us recapitulate what we have learned so far in this module. It is significant that companies should decide on distribution channels after deep analysis of various factors. A channel of distribution consists of three types of flows, namely the upward flow, the downward flow, and simultaneously the upward and downward flow. A channel conflict is a situation where a producer or supplier bypasses the normal channel of distribution and sells directly to the end user. For example, if a vendor sells over the internet, when there is already a physical distribution network, it will surely result in a conflicting situation. Decisions regarding channels are analyzing customers' needs, setting channel objectives, identifying alternatives, evaluating alternatives, designing international distribution channels. After finalizing channel, it is equally significant to manage channels. Managing channels means selecting channel members, motivating channel members, and evaluating channel members.